I'm back! And so is this freaky blue-haired guy. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to Sonic 3. I'm your LP here for today, capital G. And we're going to get right into this. And as you can see, I'm quite familiar with this game. Doesn't matter if I'm playing Sonic alone, Tails alone, or having Tails tag along while playing Sonic. Now, before we begin, a couple of details I want to clear up. I've decided to do Sonic 3 on its own instead of the locked-on version with Sonic and Knuckles because there are a lot more people who do the locked-on version of the game. Albeit it's for a good reason, but one of my goals is to emphasize the difference between Sonic 3 on its own and Sonic 3 combined with Sonic and Knuckles. There are some differences. And I also want to tell a story about how different Sonic 3 is compared to its predecessors. I mean, already you can see some differences. We only have 6 save files when you play Sonic 3 on its own. When you play Sonic 3 combined with Sonic and Knuckles, that triples, I believe, if I counted correctly. Although I won't be saving. I'll be doing this recording in one shot. And I will... You know what? I'm going to go Sonic alone for this one. Just a quick tap of the up button. There we are. And ready? Let's get this party started. Oh shit! I pressed the wrong button. I pressed the X button. Oh yes, X button. Yeah, I have to explain that quickly. I'm playing this off of the Sonic Mega Collection Plus, released on the PlayStation 2. So it's circle button this time. Yep. Story picks up right after the end of Sonic 2. We have the Chaos Emeralds. We're coming into this island, and boom! Knuckles wins by stealing Chaos Emeralds. So, welcome to Angel Island Zone. This zone is named after the island itself. The proper name of the island is, in fact, Angel Island. A lot of people refer to it as a floating island because, under normal circumstances, it would be floating in the air. Dr. Robotnik is a good part of the reason why it is currently sitting in the water. Trying to steal emeralds from the island. It's emeralds that keep it in the air. And it's emeralds that we collect here. This, of course, is the special stage in the Sonic 3. There are 7 of these in this game, and if you were to play Sonic and Knuckles on its own, or play the combined Sonic 3 and Knuckles game, there's 7 more of these. How this works, it's, well, the simple name for it is Blue Sphere. You collect the blue spheres. Counts down on the top left corner. Anytime you go outside the perimeter of a box of blue spheres, they're all automatically collected and they turn into rings. If you collect 50 rings, you get a continue, which in a no-save game you might need, but if you're using the save files, they're kind of useless. And if you collect all the rings in any given bonus stage, you'll get a perfect, which is valued at 50,000 points. 50,000 points is enough to give you a 1-up. Do-do-do-do-do! And that is Emerald number 1. So it adds up your score. Tells you whether or not you got your continue, which I did here. I'll never use it, but I have one. And off we go. Now there are several of those hidden throughout each act. So all because I found one here doesn't mean I get another chance later on. Slowest loop-to-loop ever. So what else does Sonic 3 introduce? Something you'll notice very, very quickly if you've played Sonic 1, Sonic 2. If you decide to start playing Sonic and you've gone in chronological order, you'll notice that each of the stages in this game are larger than in their earlier games. So Sonic 1, Sonic 2's stages, for the most part, are not anywhere the same in scope as this one. You also notice it has the worst invincibility music ever! So annoying. Also new is mini bosses. and little in-game sequences where you're in full control even though you can't change the outcome. Like, there's nothing you can do. That dude burns up this island. Also knows this minigame. 50 rings and a lamppost, you go to the bonus stage. Bonus stage is this little gumball machine. Just knock the handle, and it can give you a chance at shields, rings, and 1-ups. And black bouncy balls too. And we got our 1-up here, so let's leave. Yep, and also new are the elemental shields. If you're playing through the Sonic games for the first time. The elemental shields, we have an electric one, a water one, and a fire one. I'll tell you more about those shields in just a moment. First off, we're going to collect us some Chaos Emeralds. Love the music in this place though. Sonic 3 of course has an awesome soundtrack. Better than Sonic 2? I'd say for the most part. I mean, there is one song that's kind of annoying. We'll come to it later on. But you also get a good variety of songs. Each act has its own individual song. Usually the second act is a sort of a variation of the first act song. So it sounds like a continuation. And check this out, by the way. Even though we have that bumper in the middle, the white stars are bumpers. You go around the perimeter, it still transforms to blue sphere. Red ones, of course, you run into one of those and you lose. And blue spheres you collect turn red. So that's something to watch out for when you are playing through these stages. They're perhaps some of the easiest special stages, and that's perfect, by the way. But if you dilly-dally too long, they get a lot faster in a hurry. Of course, we didn't dilly-dally here. Professional run-through, perfect run of the second special stage. We have our Chaos Emerald, we have our perfect. And we have our 1-up. Worst 1-up music of any Sonic game. Yeah, Sonic 3 has the worst 1-up music and the worst invincibility music. Fortunately, when you play the attached version with Sonic and Knuckles, it replaces the invincibility music, so you don't have to deal with that. Now, back to the elemental shields. If you have a fire shield, it gives you a special air dash. Whee! Look at that ring! Whee! Gives you a special fire dash you can activate by double jumping. And protects you against fire. Like, any fire attack will just not damage Sonic. And you get to keep your shield too. Yep, that's a 1-up for 100 rings. The electric shield protects you, of course, from electric attacks. And various other projectiles, as you can see. Boing! It gives you a double jump. And the water shield will keep you from drowning in water. I'm going to demonstrate that very, very soon. For now, we've got ourselves a little mini-boss here. Listen to the music here. When you play the combined Sonic 3 Knuckles game, this song is replaced also. I'm not sure why. It's a cool tune. Mini-bosses, they're not really much to talk about. They really aren't. Yeah, and that ends Act 1. Knocking the signpost around a little bit. You get 100 points every time you hit the signpost while it's in the air. And check out this little piece of design. Assuming you didn't find any of the Chaos Emeralds in the first act, they give you this little easy one to find here. It's impossible to miss it, really. Right here at the top of Act 2. Here we are, Stage 3. Love the song. I'm not going to go for a perfect run in this one, I just wanted to demonstrate it with that last emerald. But, this one's pretty tricky. It's a very easy stage to go through, but it's pretty tricky to get the perfect, and I'll show you why as we get towards the end. This one is all about having these large chambers with like 16 spheres, and the ways in and out are 2 spheres. Now that's the bouncer, that's how that works. You just bounce back a little bit and you just have to press forward to get yourself back in the proper direction. Now it's coming soon. Coming soon. More rings, ding ding ding. Now watch this, if you want perfect, you have to skip at least one of those spheres, these last 2 spheres, because the instant you collect the last blue sphere, it ends the stage, regardless of whether or not you want to collect the rings. But for anyone who wants to challenge themselves and get the perfect bonus in all 7 stages, go for it, no reason why not. It's a fun little challenge. And yeah, look at this. Use the air dash to stay away from the water, because you go into the water, you lose your shield. Electric shields disappear, fire shields disappear. Water shields, however, don't. They give you this nice little bubble bounce. Badoing, 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 by double jumping. And you'll notice there aren't any air bubbles coming from Sonic's mouth. While Sonic has this shield, he can breathe underwater. He's still slowed down by the water a bit, but at least you don't have to worry about the countdown of evil. You know the one. So this is going to be a no countdown run. You will never ever hear the water countdown. The sound of Sonic drowning won't ever happen. Boing. I knew there was a bouncer in here somewhere. Again, another thing I mentioned before, that the stages in this game have a lot more scope to it. There's more different paths. There's even some paths that only Tails can go through. And you'll even spot a couple of paths that neither Sonic nor Tails can get through ever. Now, when Sonic 3 first came out, this would seem as very, very strange. But at the time of Sonic 3's release, Sonic and Knuckles was not announced. I remember looking through the Sears catalog. We got Sonic 3 earlier in the year, looking through the Sears catalog, and eventually seeing Sonic and Knuckles same year. Which, it's a Sonic game, which means I automatically want it. But 2 Sonic titles in the same year? I mean, now it's expected. Sega spams the hell out of Sonic. Mad skills, by the way. But seeing 2 Sonic games in the same year in the 90s was very, very strange. Check this out, by the way. Yep, you can jump in these stages, and there you have to if you don't time your jump properly, or you wait till the thing gets really, really fast. It's going to be very hard to collect those spheres. This stage also features a humongous cross-shaped cluster of blue spheres in the middle. And once you collect them all, boom. One quick outline. And we are just rolling with these emeralds. No problems with these special stages. As I mentioned before, they're some of the easiest. And oh no! That's annoying. Fire shield plus water equals no shield. Ah, so be it. Getting back to Sonic and Knuckles. Again, seeing the Sonic and Knuckles box art in the Sears catalog in the same year that we've already seen Sonic 3 come out was very, very strange. Like, what's going on with that? Eventually, the TV ads started coming out, telling us about Sonic and Knuckles, the lock-on technology of Sonic and Knuckles. Because that particular cartridge has an additional cartridge slot on the top. And all you have to do is add in Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, and you can play the two games combined. Bombing run. You can also attach Sonic 2 to that cartridge and play as Knuckles in the game Sonic 2. It has another little feature that I'll talk about another time. But for now, let's focus on dodging these bombs. Note that in this sequence, even though Sonic can't outrun the ship, you do have control. You can decide where he is on the screen. But enough about that, Robotnik. We've got a fire shield, and Robotnik is shooting fireballs at us. So guess what? He doesn't stand the chance. See you later, Ivo. And once you beat Robotnik, the clock stops. And the flickies come down waiting to be freed. There they are, tiny little flickies. We got through Act 2, we got through Angel Island Zone, and I will see you next time in Hydrocity Zone.